All right, joining me now is Kentucky's Democratic Governor, Andy Beshear. Governor, thank you very much for coming in the arena. It's great to have you. The leader there, of course, talking about Voting Rights Act, redistricting, some dramatic changes coming, especially to African-American voices and ability to be represented in Congress. I want to put it to you. Democrats have said they'll go so far as to go after their own, perhaps not as viciously as Donald Trump is currently going after Thomas Massie, but that's what they've posited as they take these fights on. Do you think that is the right approach for your party as you look to the future?
Well, I believe what you see in the Democratic Party is one that can be a big tent party, where you don't have to agree with everyone on everything. But what you do have to agree on is that it's our job to make people's life just a little bit better and a little less hard. That we should be the party of the American dream that starts with a good job, that lives in a home, that's a long life where you can see a doctor in your community, where you feel safe, where you live and where your kids go to the best public schools. It's spending 80% of our time on things that matter to 100% of the American people. That's how I believe the Democratic Party earns the trust of hardworking Americans back again.
Governor, you say the argument should be you're going to make people's lives a little bit better. Voters seem to be sending a message to their politicians that a little bit of anything isn't good enough for them. Do you think that that's enough? I mean, voters seem to be very, very angry. Do you think Democrats need to meet their anger where it is?
Well, I think voters are angry because they feel that the system and the economy is rigged, that American dream has slipped out of reach, that if you work hard and you play by the rules, you're still not getting ahead. It's that idea that you saw your parents raise you in a home, yet the average age for first-time home ownership is now 40 years old. That with the price of gas because of Donald Trump's war with Iran, that you can't afford to take your kids on the same vacation that your parents took you on. And that really hits American families, right in their psyche. So I believe we should look at aspirational investments in affordable housing. I believe we should look at big solutions. I personally think it's time for a fix the darn country constitutional amendment where we get rid of partisan gerrymandering once and for all, that we overturn Citizens United. We should have term limits for everything, including the Supreme Court, with what we're seeing right now. So yes, I think people want big, bold ideas, but I think what they're going to actually vote on is who cares about me more. Who do I believe after Donald Trump betrayed me, said he'd bring down prices, and then his tariff policy, his big ugly bill, and his war with Iran only made things skyrocket? They're going to be looking for people they can believe in, that have the receipts, and that they believe will get up every day to fight for them.
Governor, I want to play something that California Governor Gavin Newsom, of course, widely considered a potential Democratic presidential candidate if the midterms go well. This is what he had to say about how to fight back against Donald Trump. Watch.
Trump's not screwing around, and nor can we. Yeah, it's uncomfortable fighting fire with fire. Yes, we all want the better angels. Yes, we want the Sorkin sound and music, little West Wing. I do. But we'll lose our country. We will lose our country.
The governor seems to be saying there that the West Wing idealism, of course referring to the TV show for our viewers who are not, millennials like me, and that was at the center of our cultural zeitgeist. He seems to be saying you need to be more aggressive in fighting back against Donald Trump. Do you agree?
Well, listen, it's politically popular to sue Donald Trump in California. I've done it 20 times in a state he won by 31 points. It's popular to criticize Donald Trump in the Northeast. I do it every day in a deep red southern state. So we all fight in our own ways, but it needs to be in a way that can ultimately draw more people into this party. I don't think we beat Donald Trump by being a Democratic version of him. I think we beat Donald Trump by being better, by not just being against someone, but for something, that American dream, and offering the American people something better, something that they can ultimately hope for. And we got to do more than just win, though we got to win. We've got to ultimately heal this country so that your neighbor is not the enemy from within, but just your neighbor doing their best every single day.
Governor, if, of course, whoever does become the Democratic nominee will face, we expect Donald Trump to be stepping off the stage, replaced potentially by J.D. Vance, or, of course, Marco Rubio, another person who has been rising in the conversation as well. J.D. Vance, the vice president, today wouldn't rule out using money from a fund to pay potential January 6th rioters. Your reaction to his refusal to rule that out?
Flat out crazy, and it's all out fraud. I mean, Donald Trump made J.D. Vance the SAR fraud. Well, there's now a $1.7 or $1.8 billion slush fund for Donald Trump's allies. There's a $1 billion ballroom that hasn't been approved. Donald Trump is buying stocks and then pumping up the companies. Hey, JD, there's the fraud. Go get it.
Do you think that it would be harder for the Democratic nominee to run against J.D. Vance or against Marco Rubio in 2028?
Well, I think we've got to be ready for whoever it is. And we've got to be ready for them to be willing to say anything. I mean, J.D. Vance pretends he's from Kentucky. He's not. He's from the suburbs of Cincinnati. He made his money off talking down to the people of Appalachia. It was poverty tourism. This is a guy who's changed his name multiple times and who calls his childhood his origin story. Marco Rubio appears to be willing to do anything to get ahead. I mean, he works for a president that called him Little Marco, that insulted him over and over. And what's his response? Yes, sir, and yes, sir. So I think the American people are going to be ready regardless for real leadership, people that have the receipts of getting things done in their states. And they're going to be looking for someone that again, doesn't just swing that pendulum from one side to another, but can actually restore the stability of this country, can restore the stability of our economy, and can make sure we're no longer viewed internationally as the bully on the playground, but once again, the leader of the free world.
You've talked a lot today about how Democrats can win, what they need to do, what they need to say. I want to play something for you that the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, said recently about the country and what they're looking for, and then we'll talk about it. Take a look.
We saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time.
She says the country's not ready for a woman. There was also an Axios headline that some Democrats' 2028 strategy is a straight, white, Christian man. Governor, do you agree with the First Lady there about what the country is ready for?
Well, I don't like disagreeing with Michelle Obama because I'm a big fan, but I think the country is ready for the best candidate, regardless of gender, race, sexual orientation. I think we have got to push to be that country where just the very best person can achieve any and every office. Discrimination is wrong in every single form, and we ought to speak out against it every single time.
All right. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, thank you very much for being in the arena. I do hope it's not your first trip here, and we'll see you again soon.
Look forward to coming back.
All right. Thank you so much. Coming up next here in the arena, more on the bluegrass battle and whether Thomas Massie will become a rare survivor of the president's political revenge campaign. Plus, President Trump finally makes an endorsement in one of the year's most pivotal Senate races. The reaction from leaders in his party was, well,